Hi there. I have a question that comes to me quite often. How do I listen to my soul? Now, first of all, you might even be wondering what does soul even mean? What does soul mean? And I remember having this question many times and hearing it, first of all, when I was 19, about when I was deeply troubled and consumed, captive to addictive behaviors and self destructive patterns, basically, a very unconscious life, which came from the interjections of culture and family, which happens to so many of us. And sometimes our soul hunger shows up usually as an addiction. Now, those addictions, you can have kind of cosmetic addictions, that kind of are well groomed and look good, and maybe even just take on different kinds of personas. And then there are those that are very obvious, that of my roommate at the time was a heroin addict. And she was recovered. She was in recovery. And then there's alcohol, and there's sex, and there's food, and there's all kinds. There's the internet, there's Netflix, there's consuming. Yeah, and usually the things that are very good for us and nourishing to our soul are not addictive. It isn't like a unconscious pattern gets set up that somehow unconsciously is causing us to behave and perform in a particular way that doesn't feel good. It's a avoidance of a pain, of a wound, of a hunger, of a missed experience. It's missing over something that is deeply wanted. So how do you listen to the language of the soul? I mean, in some ways, I'm here with this dog, Woody of mine, and he's very intelligent. Yeah, he's an instinctive animal creature like we all are. And our instincts are kind of the images that are imprinted upon us and speak to us in dreams. You could call metaphors. So I learned to start tracking my dreams early on. I was talking about age 19. Well, I had gone to my first therapist because my roommate, she saw that something was unsatisfied in my own life and that I was suffering. And she told me about this particular Eunice Zimmerman, who became my first therapist. She was a Jungian analyst and also a spiritual teacher, and very much for the time, embodied feminine archetype of the healthy feminine, and with the marriage of the masculine, with the structure of that well-being, of that capacity. That's funny. I just got a thumbs up. Ooh, my computer has a mind of its own. But okay, where did I leave off? So Woody here is trying to leave. He wants to maybe go to the bathroom, but we went on a very long hike today, so I know that he's been satisfied that way. But anyways, I went to her, and my roommate told me that what I should find out is what is my soul purpose? And so that is everything that we explored for many, many years. What is soul? What is soul purpose? So the language of the soul, what I learned and what she taught me, was speaks to us through dreams. And that we can listen to our soul and understand how our soul is speaking to us through metaphors, through images, through everything that happens in the dream. Because the soul is hidden in a sense. It's here. It's here. It's like that burning ember. It's at the deep well within. That doesn't go anywhere. But do we drink from it? Do we allow ourselves to be nourished by it? Do we have the doorway, the window of the soul open so that we can drink from within? And the soul is, in a sense, it's kind of that liminal space, the subtle body, the energy field, it's named different things in different traditions, but you could say it's that liminal space between this here physical body, what we know to be physical, and spirit, and how there is it's like when we're in touch with our soul, it's like the body can dance and we can sing, and the involvement of the ego requirement is very minimal because the soul sings and dances by itself. It's medicine for the body. So you could say, like, when there's a lot of unconscious material that hasn't been attended to, well, obviously we're living unconsciously. So if it's unconscious, it's unconscious. But the more that we wake up to the unconscious material, and one way to do so is to listen to your dreams, record your dreams, find out what are the metaphors and the images, what is the meaning of these different metaphors. So then even the painful metaphors can have meaning for us. And we can learn much more about the different imprints that we have received from culture, from parents, from patriarchy, from ancestral beings, so on and so forth. Everything can open up for us, and it really just brings so much more meaning to life. Like, there's this old image. I remember it when I was years ago, I was in graduate school for Jungian psychology, and I did undergraduate studies in psychology. So I did a lot of textbook study, which is nice to get the concepts, but really much, much more comes out of our lived experience, right? And the more that you unpack your own lived experience, the more you're really carving out the path of your soul, which is unique to you. It's like owning, taking full responsibility for who you are, and letting yourself drink from the well within, which is the only place that is forever available to us. It's infinite. And it isn't contingent or dependent on any other external source, right? So the more we come back, 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 we come back. And what remains hidden to us, we can use dreams, visions, many other forms of altered states, kind of to open up unconscious material, to look at it, let it speak to us, journaling. There's many ways of being out in nature. Nature enlivens the unconscious. But if you remember back in the day, there was this very, I don't remember the artist exactly, but it was very common in Jungian psychology. There's the pyramid, I guess, like this. And it's like at the tip, Jung would say that, say, 10% of that tip is visible, and the other 90% is below, is the ocean. So just the tip of the iceberg is what is conscious, and then the rest of the ocean represents the unconscious. Now, you could say that, especially in the last 10 years, where many, many, many more people are waking up and coming to consciousness, but to really be awake, you have to behave awakely, which means there's still a lot of unconscious material, and the work of those of us who are awakening and becoming more conscious to kind of hold that still point of consciousness, which can be a container in the body for the strength to be able to be anchored and grounded, and to look into the unconscious. Yeah, so it can become conscious. So that's very important work. It isn't as if, all right, I've become conscious now and I'm finished. It's never that. Because remember what we said in the beginning, that this burning ember within, even though it may feel out of reach sometimes, or hidden, or maybe like it's not even there, it doesn't go anywhere. It is there, and it is our invitation to discover what are the ways that opens up that listening for us to drink. Like, what is it that Do we need to bring a cup to the well within? Do we need to get assistance, maybe a little helping ladle or some other way to reach into that well, some guidance? Or do we just need to have some time of quiet and still and listening and resting? And hunger is a good thing. Like instead of feeding hunger in all of the different ways it might be repetitive or habitual, can we come back and come back and come back and listen to what is that hunger really wanting? What's actually satisfied? What's going to quench the thirst? And then that tip of the iceberg, more of that is exposed. And we say an iceberg, it's interesting. I mean, it's not really an iceberg. I shouldn't say that. It's just an exposure of consciousness. That's not ice. Because when something becomes conscious, the frozenness is melted. It's soft, it's open. You can see it. So how do I listen to the language of my soul? Yeah. So kind of in the way like Woodsy over here, he speaks dog language. But like the more that I hang out with him, I understand that he hasn't been around very long, but like I know what he wants now, because everything has its metaphor. It's like its pattern, its way of behaving, that when we hang out with something long enough, it speaks to us and we're like, we get its meaning. And then we can take that meaning and reflect upon it and let it feed us. Let it be food for the soul. Thank you, Woodsy. So I hope that is helpful. And I just kind of jumped on because I didn't get on earlier this week. And I love to show up here. It's kind of a practice for me. And I have this renewed practice since my recent retreat, which, my work is very much focused on soul medicine as a crone woman, as a wise woman, wisening as the years progress more and more, and owning that, and really like embodying something true about who I am without shying away. And that's what happens as we mature, but as we mature consciously, where we're just not getting older, conscious aging, so to speak, because we're all getting older, all the time. But I'm Prajnaohara, and this is my YouTube channel. I have a website. I also have some free sessions coming up on Wednesday the 8th and Wednesday the 13th at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Just go to my website, sign up. It's free. And that's just to kind of be in person live together, to take some time to attune to the sense of your own soul and the well within, and how do you receive from that? Rest, recover, satisfy your soul hunger, and learn about my retreats. You can ask questions, you can listen to other participants, you can meet some of the team. So you're welcome to come to that. And if you like these, like them, share them, subscribe. And I love the comments too, because it always tells me more about what it is you want to be speaking about. I want to be in conversation. I've been around for quite a while and exploring all of these things. So what is it you want to learn about? Okay, take good care. Say bye to Suki. Woody, our other dog was Suki. They're identical. They're from the same family tree, if you can believe it. They look exactly alike, but they have very different personalities. So that is the same with the soul. No two souls are alike. We can have some commonalities, especially in our humanness, but every soul is unique. So how do you listen to your soul? Bye for now.